Hey guys, Kyle from Genie here with a cool tip for Reaper that I haven't seen anyone else doing, where you print your amp sim directly onto the item in Reaper, as well as the DI channel, all from a single input, single guitar input. Sounds really crazy, sounds weird. I wasn't sure how I was able to do it or how I was able to figure it out, but once you understand how Reaper works and how flexible the routing is, it's actually fairly easy. What you want to do is you have your one input for a guitar track or a bass track. Um, I'll show you. I have my recording guitar channel here. Let me make that a little bigger. If you go into your input effects, you can take your input, open up this channel router with polarity plugin that comes stock in Reaper. From here, you can take your input channel 1 and 2, or just one. It doesn't really matter. Mono and stereo doesn't really matter too much in Reaper just because of the way the routing works. So you can take your input channel 1 and 2. What this will do is output it to any channel you want. So for here, I have it outputted to channel 3 and 4. The reason I do that is in Reaper, you can take your pins and you can route them any way you want. So what happens is output 3 and 4 kind of bypasses this entire plugin chain. So they almost run in parallel to each other. So you have 1 and 2 running down this chain of effects that I have here. So I have my amp sim and EQ, and then it records. 3 and 4 runs outside of this loop, but at the same time. So what you end up getting is a file that looks like this. That's the bass. Well, it doesn't really matter. A file that looks like this. So what you see here is your 4 outputs. Top channel is 1 and 2. Bottom channel being 3 and 4. You can see this top is the amp sim. This bottom is the DI. You will not hear this DI unless you specifically select it because it is running on channel 3 and 4, which isn't even seen by Reaper. It's usually used by a sidechain or if you route it to an set of speakers. But it's just one of those things. Reaper just has so many. I think every single channel has 64 outputs in itself, which is absolutely insane. So let me show you what you hear when both these are visible. You only hear the lead tone. Sounds just like a guitar, right? You would expect seeing both of these here. You would hear both, but since this is only on 3 and 4, you do not hear the DI. You can select it by going to item settings, and then take which channel you want. So left and right will be your amp sim. Mode 3 and 4 will be your DI. So if you select 3, you get this. You're hearing that little bit of reverb because on this lead channel I have it sent to a reverb, and you're still going to hear that because that's not part of the actual file. If I turn all effects off from the channel, you won't hear it anymore. Oh. So then your amp sim will sound like this. No effects, everything's disabled. A really cool thing is for editing purposes especially is you can edit your DI and your amp sim in the same file. So you make one move, it does both your amp sim and your DI channel. Really easy to edit DI channel guitars and anything DI because you have that hard transient at the beginning where a guitar signal is a little more compressed. It's kind of, you have to use your ear and kind of figure it out by just that way. Really cool tip. These always stay together because they're recorded the same. Yeah, just thought I'd share it with you guys. I haven't seen anyone using DIs or channels this way within Reaper. Thought it was extremely useful, and I'll probably be doing it like this from here on out. All right, thanks, guys.